Hello and welcome to Talk Seagulls. We're back at the Caxton Arms again, and I'm joined by Luke. Just come after the international break. It feels like a long time, actually, since talking about Brighton. It feels really weird. Like, we get ourselves into the flow of talking about football, have 3 games, and then boom, we're watching England winning 5-0 in probably the world's most boring game of football ever. But we're back now, and we're talking about the real football now, mate. We're going to Bournemouth away. We're previewing Bournemouth away. How are you feeling?
I mean, quite happy that England won, you know. Always pretty happy. It's still early days for Tuchel, I think. But there's signs that we might be all right come next summer. But that's not what we're here to talk about.
Yeah.
As you say, we're here to talk about Bournemouth. Quietly confident is how I'll describe myself at the moment.
Yeah. No, fair enough. I mean, we've managed to forget the SD cards, hence the mic readjustments here. So it doesn't quite look like the standard style, but I could not address it considering I'm holding something that's so small. But yeah, no, it does the job, to be honest. Audio sounds hopefully all right, fingers crossed. But yeah, I agree. It's going to be an interesting game because I've got to be honest with you, I actually think Bournemouth are a decent side. I actually do. I think they're a very good team. I think they've got a good manager. And they will be a tough test, especially at their place.
We tend to do okay against them. I'm not like I say I'm quietly confident. I'm sort of keeping it in, but I got a feeling we might win. But I'm not out there saying that we're going to beat them 3 or 4-0 or whatever. I'm not going to be like we're going to thrash them. I just got this feeling we might beat them this time.
Yeah, I hope you're right. We beat them last season, didn't we, 2-0? And it was that moment of brilliance from, one was Jorginho from João Pedro, had a brilliant game that day, and it was that threaded pass through to Mitoma. I think that was one of my favourite goals of last season.
I watched it so many times.
Yeah, the vision of the pass.
Yeah.
I mean, Mitoma wasn't even in the shot at the time when that pass went through, and then he comes through, brilliant finish as well, wraps his foot around the ball. Classic sort of Mitoma finish, really, to be honest.
Yeah.
And yeah, he does love a goal against Bournemouth, that's to be said. Karo Mitoma, I think if you cast your minds back a couple of years ago to when De Zerbi first took over as well, that ball in from Sarmiento, he won it in the last sort of 2 minutes of the game. Another brilliant header. So
De Zerbi went mental as well.
He certainly did.
Started running.
And then if you want to cast your mind again to when Mitoma scored, I think it was the season after that one under De Zerbi, and I think it was just after half time he got
30 seconds in.
Yeah,
it was
Ansu Fati. I think it was Ansu and Mitoma come on off the bench, changed the game literally within 20 seconds. And Mitoma, I think, got 2 goals.
He did. Yeah. We won 3-1, didn't we?
Yeah. We just turned that game around. So, yeah, Mitoma loves to play against Bournemouth.
Yeah, good. That's what we want.
Yeah.
Not knowing our luck, he's going to be injured coming back from internationals. We've already seen it with Minter hobbling off.
Yes, true.
So, I mean, we haven't heard anything about it yet, but hopefully that's not going to affect us too much because he's been absolutely brilliant. We touched on that. Well, we spoke about it last week, didn't we?
Yeah.
About how good Minter's been at the start of the season. Mitoma, I think, has been a little bit off it, but as you say, he loves a game against Bournemouth.
He certainly
so
does.
Should be up for it.
Yeah, I mean, Minte, as you say, good point, well made, to be honest. I'm a bit worried about that. I mean, I hope he's okay. It looked precautionary because he walked off the pitch, so we sort of live in hope that it is just precautionary, but he has been electric. I think between the two of those, Mitoma and Minte, they are like probably one of the best wing partnerships in the league if we can get them firing. And I think particularly on the right side, maybe more so. I think if he was injured, we don't have really many like-for-like replacements. Obviously, Gruder can play on the right, but I don't associate Gruder's brilliance coming from the right. I sort of would quite like to see him in the middle.
Yeah, I think we'll miss Minter's pace as well.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
will.
He really gets us pushing up the pitch, and he, especially the past few games, really liked taking a player on. I've sort of seen Mitoma's been a little bit more cautious about doing that.
Yeah.
Especially last season as well. I thought he was a bit more cautious. But they've always got 2 players on him, so it's a lot more difficult for him to do it. So Minter's sort of taken that himself, which I'm really liking, but we'll miss that. Obviously, you say Gruder can play in that position, but that's not at the moment where it looks like he's best.
No.
It looks so much better either going through by himself or just behind someone.
Yeah.
I take Gruder there if we need to, because he does like taking a man on, but we will really miss Minter's pace.
Yeah, I agree. I think I look at it as Gruder and Minte should play together. You know what I mean? Like they're 2 players that should be on the pitch at the same time, as opposed to one or the other. I think we saw it the other week when Gruder came on with Jorginho. The difference it made going forward was completely different. It was almost like we unlocked Mitoma and Minte in the first half. That was so dull. Nothing happened against City in that first half, and all of a sudden we bring on Gruder and Jorginho, and it was like, wow, okay, we're really going for it now. And the momentum shifted. Minte all of a sudden had that little bit more freedom on the right side, and actually Mitoma was doubled up on most of the day, but I thought he did a pretty good job in the second half, and I think we need that. I do.
We for how bad that first half is, we really have spoken about it quite a lot.
Yeah.
But then that sometimes happens. Really awful first half. You can't get your mind off it.
Yeah, true.
It was really dull.
It was very bad. It was very bad. But again, I can still remember the good second sort of last 30 minutes were fantastic. And that's,
I know. That's
what we're holding on to. That's what we're holding on to. And I think, we've not started the season maybe the best, you'd say. I don't think we've been great so far. I thought Everton were pretty poor. I thought Fulham, we weren't our best selves.
No, we really weren't. No.
The first sort of 50, 60, you call it even 65 minutes against City, I thought we were pretty poor as well. So we've seen in the last half an hour against City, the moment against Oxford, obviously, we've got to be beating Oxford, don't get me wrong. But I think there's reasons to be positive based on how we've reacted in the last few weeks. But I think we certainly do need like a whole sort of performance where I'm very convinced that this is the right sort of start to the season for us, because I do think we've struggled a little bit. But Bournemouth will be a big test for that, because they're a team that will play in a way that, I mean, historically it would probably been an ideal one for us where we could take them apart if they try and play against us. Whereas now I think our style of play differentiates again from that. I think we'd probably be more interested in trying to put more players up front, putting the fullbacks really wide, putting the strikers really wide, and just overloading them. I can see us trying to do that to them. But Bournemouth, obviously, as I said before, I think that they've got a very good manager, and they've got a good team as well. Semenyo is one to watch again.
I'm quite surprised they kept hold of Semenyo, to be honest, because of the season he had last season. I think he was. I mean, no disrespect to Bournemouth, but I feel like he could do a lot better than Bournemouth. He's absolutely brilliant. But their defence completely gutted, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Completely just taken from him. So need to take advantage of that, because there's going to be a lot of defenders that haven't really had time to gel together and aren't used to playing together. Ruter being back from injury definitely helps a lot, as we saw against City, coming on all of his energy and pressing and everything like that. Holding the ball up as well. Obviously you saw what he did for the second goal. That's the sort of thing we need. Need some people to put him under pressure, and having Gruder, I'm guessing, is going to play from the start, and if he doesn't, I'd be really surprised. Gruder and Ruter, I don't know if that really will work.
They could be slightly counterproductive. It could be almost like a João Pedro and Jorginho situation, where, remember last season, it almost cancelled each other out at times because they both tried to occupy the same part of the pitch in the style we were playing last season. But Gruder will be demanding a start this week. I would be very surprised if he's not banging on the manager's door saying, look, what more can I do than what I've done in the last couple of games? And rightly so, right? Fair enough. But I do agree with you. It's hard to squeeze him into that first 11. But I wouldn't mind seeing him behind the striker. And if you put Jorginho sort of more advanced again, I wouldn't be opposed to it, because obviously Welbeck's not started the best this season, you'd say. Again, love Danny, never had to say a bad word about the guy, but he's not had a good start to the season. So if there's probably anyone up front that you would think, okay, probably droppable, it would unfortunately probably have to be Welbeck at this stage of the season, I'd say.
I do like Welbeck playing in front of Ruter, though. They had a pretty nice partnership last season, and I don't know. I would sort of like to see it, but that's the problem. Gruder deserves a start after the past few games. But I don't know. I would really like to see. I would really like to see Ruter and Welbeck. And this is the problem. Welbeck hasn't started the best, but I mean, everyone's going to be like, oh, he's washed, he's old, but we've seen what he can do.
Yeah, and we know that he's not.
Yeah, he's not, and he is. I'll put it out there. Getting towards Brighton legend now, I think. Some of the goals he's scored and the player he's been for us as well is mental to think. Like, we got him for free and didn't really seem like. Well, when he came, to be honest, I wasn't really all that excited. I was like, oh God, Danny Welbeck, he's well old. And he was only like
his reputation
27.
got so ruined at Arsenal. It was insane. I think everyone forgot that he was actually like, at Manchester United, he was the upcoming star boy.
Yeah, I know.
He was Alex Ferguson's sort of chosen one of the young wonder kids that are coming through United at the time, and everyone was like, wow, Danny Welbeck is the future of England. And it was only because of the injuries that really it made everyone just think, oh, he's never fit, he's never available. Then he went to Arsenal and just continued that sort of thing. He did miss a lot of big chances. I think if I remember, his confidence was shot.
Yeah.
Probably being in the headlines at United like he was, then scoring goals for England. I'll still never forget that goal he scored against Sweden in the Euros 2012.
I'll never get over
sort of backheeled it.
Never get over the. Was it Sturridge? It wasn't Welbeck, was it? Against Wales.
Yeah, that was Sturridge. It was Sturridge.
Yeah. Oh god.
But we had
full knowledge.
We had like some great players upcoming then. But I do think Welbeck maybe, because of the amount of injuries, because of the name he was getting himself, I feel like it almost does get a bit too much for you when you go to these sort of teams, especially Arsenal, because Arsenal at the time then were a bit in their banter era. You'd say they were pretty they're a bit of the embarrassment of the top six at the time. Arsenal in general as well, like they're not really known for winning stuff. So when they were bottling stuff, probably you'd blame the striker or whoever was available. So Welbeck had a bit of a stalemate there, and then he went to Watford obviously, and they just couldn't get anything out of him really apart from the overhead kick. And then coming here, I guess the expectation at that point is so on the floor that everyone just looks at the bad rather than what he was good at back then. And you would argue now he's had his best years at Brighton in his career. Yeah, I think everyone will still associate him as being the Man United project, but I think that he's Brighton's player. Danny Welbeck is a Brighton legend. Yeah. He's not ex-Man United, he's not an ex-Arsenal, he is a Brighton legend.
He actually seems to care about the club as well, which is...
I agree.
Like, there's a lot of players in our time that haven't been, like, the greatest player in the world, like Gary Hart, something like that. Wasn't the most amazing player, but did everything for the badge. Jiri Skalak, we touched on him last week.
Love that.
Absolutely love that.
Brilliant
man so much.
Jiri.
What a legend he is. I absolutely love him because he gave everything. Wasn't the best player you've ever seen in the world, but gave absolutely everything. And Welbeck started off sort of all right, but he really seemed like he wanted it, and then obviously came into his own a couple seasons ago and has been absolutely brilliant for us since. Obviously, he's had this little slump at the start of the season, but I don't think that will stay. I think give it a couple of games, it will be back to how he was. But he's also going to do a lot for such as like Babis and Simas as well, helping these young strikers come up and having someone who's got this experience and been playing for so long and has been playing the Premier League for so long.
And he's also been playing here now for quite a while.
Yeah, like 5 years.
I think that's probably one of our biggest problems, especially at the moment where we've got some experienced players like Milner, for example, but these players haven't really been at the club for very long. Like the majority of our squad is going through constant transition. Yeah. There's always players that are leaving and coming back in, and it's quite nice to have a player like Welbeck, Dunk and Solly March. These players now that have been here for over the 5-year period, really, that can actually speak for the club a little bit. For example, I don't know, João Pedro that's just gone. It's like he's only here for 2 years. Caicedo was only here for 2 years. Like, you don't really have, even if he was to stay another year, he's not been here long enough to then go and pass on that message of what it's like to be Brighton. And that's what I sort of always felt about Lallana. I felt like I loved Lallana. I thought he was a really good player. Yeah. And he was brilliant for the experience. He's one of the most sort of brilliant, intelligent minds that we've sort of had. But he wasn't us, was he? He wasn't like Brighton. He was fair enough. He went back to Southampton in the end, and if he did that stint at Southampton, and he's sort of going on about how much he loves Southampton, it would make more sense. Yeah. But it always felt a little bit forced to me. It was like, he's brilliant. I loved him, but he wasn't Brighton's legend or Brighton's person. And that's what I think Welbeck has become. I think that he passes down that experience, but also being Brighton, caring about us. You know what I mean? Yeah.
He's really shown a lot in the time he's been here, which I love. Same with such as like De Kuiper, coming up. He's got Veltman there to help him, and Veltman's is
another brilliant show.
Another Brighton legend in my opinion, mainly for snapping Cucurella in the FA Cup
but Joel
last
Veltman,
season.
right? I think what people don't like, I feel like you forget. You think of the best transfers of all time, whatever. You think of these big money transfers, but actually, players like Joel Veltman, who cost 900 grand, have racked up multiple appearances. I think he's got over 100 appearances for Brighton now. He's iconic really at the right back slot. He's taken over from Bruno, I think, at the time where we were like, oh God, who's going to be our right back that's consistent? And he's also sort of bought into the squad. He's bought into the community. He's just become a staple figure. And it's not just Joel. It's a lot of these sort of players. Seamus Coleman, for example, at Everton. Right backs that can rack up 5, 10, 15 years at a club on a really, really cheap basis, do a very good job, be Mr. Consistent. I think these are actually the best signings in football.
Yeah.
Not the big signings, the ones that can just be at a club, reliable, right backs, left backs. I mean, I know that the full backs are changing now, but they keep up. And I think that's what the sort of best signings for me. I think Veltman is exactly the same.
Well, one of those players that's a 7 out of 10 every single game, at least. Like a player that will very rarely have a bad game, will always have at least a good game.
Yeah. And always care.
Yeah. I mean, snapping Cucurella, that said it all, and I'm pretty sure he celebrated it as well. Legend. Yeah, but yeah, he having that experience in such a young transitional, if you would call it that, like squad, is exactly what we need. Obviously, we saw De Kuyper. He scored 2. Yeah, he scored 2 for Belgium. We sort of need to get that. I feel like we need to get that out of him. Get that out of him, as in not get it out of him, as in bring that out of him. And I feel like sort of trying to exploit Bournemouth's sort of like might be quite shaky defence, because obviously it's not what they had last season, which was ridiculous defence with Howson and Zabani and everyone else. Like if we can, I feel like it'd be a really good time for him to show that, and he's sort of gone under the radar at the start of the season, I think. I know Matt was saying a lot about it on his Twitter, saying about how good he's been. And playing behind, is he playing behind Minter? Am I right in that? Or is he playing behind?
No, he's left back.
There you go.
Mitoma.
Yeah, playing behind Mitoma. Sort of filling that role of Estepinian quite well. I mean, Estepinian I don't think was as good last season, but getting that, I feel like if we can get the best out of him, we also get the best out of Mitoma as well.
Yeah, that's what they need to work on, I think, because the way I look at De Kuyper is different to Estepinian. I think Estepinian was really good at overlapping, and he was very good at inverting. De Kuyper can do the inverting thing, but he's a bit more modern fullback, as in he'll crash the box, he'll be sort of very, very high up as a left back, and that's become a trend now. Like, a lot of teams, Man City do it, Chelsea do it, as I said, just Cucurella does it a lot for them. And this is the new thing in football where I think PSG were very known for it as well with Hakimi, where they put their fullbacks so high, and De Kuyper can do that, and it's great. I think conversely, obviously, you have the trouble of getting back. I don't think he's shown too much frailty yet. I think the Everton game was probably the only one that you would say, but he's been pretty fine.
The whole team was crap against Everton.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't just blame it on him.
So I won't pin that on him yet. And I think that was the biggest question mark, wasn't it, when he first came over? And I think he's been completely fine. And I think, as you say, these sort of fullback roles, they are very different. But I think De Kuyper, he could be a really good player for us. I think he's very technically gifted. He's one of them that, as you say, he goes away and scores a couple goals, and you're thinking, well, a bit like Barco, for example, you could even see him a bit higher up on the pitch, covering for Mitoma, say, and whatever. And on the subject of left wingers, I just saw Tommy Watson in Brighton Station as on the way here, which is quite funny. I wonder if he's going to be too far away from being in and around that first team.
I mean, we already spoke about it, didn't we? Like a week or so ago, or like 2 weeks ago, we spoke about him and Seamas. Yeah, so I'm thinking that can't be too far away. Watson, I mean, he probably needs a little bit more time because he's very, very young. But Seamas, I think he deserves it. At this point, to be honest, he scored 2 for the under 21s, didn't he?
That Penenka.
Yeah, it was grim. Yeah, I know.
It's like
disgusting.
The thing is, for me, is this is a question mark over when you're ready to put a player in. Because I remember De Zerbi, for example, would be very premature, as in he would put a player in and just be like, put him in, just do it. Could be as well, asterisk on that, subject to the squad we had at the time. Bit of context, we weren't quite as deep with our squad, so there wasn't so much necessity. Sorry, there was more necessity to put these players in. Whereas now, it feels like we almost could do with a striker, as we said before. We've got someone that's banging on the door, similarly to Gruder. And Zimas, I don't know what more he can physically do at this point. He scored 2 goals in the 23s. He scored 2 goals on his debut for the first team.
And got an assist.
And you've got to think, well, if he's shown that level of confidence, he's clearly better than the under-23s, clearly. And I remember when Caicedo played for our 23s, remember that? And he was just considerably better.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder what is wrong with just putting them in? What are they really holding out for? Because if he wasn't ready, I think it would have been obvious when he came on. Whereas I haven't seen anything more obvious that someone is ready than what Simas has shown us in the last few games.
I mean, you already talked about like De Zerbi shoving people in premature. Maybe give Herzog the benefit of the doubt and say he sees him in training, we don't.
Yeah,
so
there's that.
Maybe he does need a little bit more time, but I just don't see why it's not. Like, what's the harm in giving him 10 minutes at the end of the game or something, or even just like 85th minute and just seeing how he does. Like, especially if we're 2-0 up against someone. Well, I say that 2-0 up against someone in the 85th minute is the worst
PTSD.
time for us. Yeah,
we need to score at least 2 more because otherwise something could happen.
But yeah, I know. I mean, I hope Zimas gets something. Watson maybe needs a little bit more time, but I feel like he's shown enough to at least be on the bench. If being with a shout.
Yeah.
But
again, it's that trouble of depth, isn't it? Because on the wings, I don't feel like, as you say, if Minte's out, who comes in at right wing, possibly push Gruder out there, and the left side again. I mean, maybe you put the Kuiper higher up, but then you haven't got another left back apart from Ferdy, maybe.
Yeah.
Ferdy Cordell, I think, actually could cover most of these positions. To be fair. But again, you're probably stretching a little bit again before you really want to. You don't want to be stretching the squad at 4th game in. You know what I mean?
Course,
you want to be. These need to be the games where you've got your first 11 available. These need to be the games where your best players are available, and not already thinking, we need to put someone that's naturally a right left back into left and right wing. But we'll see. Obviously, these are all hypothetical scenarios.
Yeah.
This is what we do. This is what we talk about the beautiful game for.
Yeah, we did speak about it. I think last week or the week before.
Yeah.
About if we push some people up, like the Kuiper, for example, Light's running forward, it has got that defensive fragility, as they say. But possibly just playing like a back 5 and maybe putting Coppola or Buscagli back there as well to cover. Which I wouldn't really be opposed to be honest. Say we're playing like Burnley or something. So a game we should win, but it's the most Brighton game in the world and we lose 3-0. Trying it and just seeing how it goes, because that's a game we can sort of afford.
Whether Bournemouth is one of those, I don't know.
I don't think Bournemouth's one of them, especially after last season.
I do think they're better than the sort of lower side of the league now. I think that. So I do think they've got a good manager. I think there will be a bit of a
Brentford this season. There you go. Keith Andrews, set piece coach. There you go. That's all good.
Mate, Brentford are in trouble, very much so. But yeah, back onto us. I think, I don't know. It should be a good day out though. Put it that way. No, it's a shame you're not coming. I thought you'd go to Bournemouth.
I've actually only been to Bournemouth away once.
Have you?
Yeah, in the FA Cup when Basuma scored an absolute.
What a memory!
Screamer. Yeah.
What a memory! I was working in a supermarket at that time, and I remember going on my phone and being like, "Oh, we've scored it." It'd be like a random FA Cup game. Back when I couldn't go to the Saturday games, it was absolutely the worst thing.
Yeah, I wish I could go to Bournemouth. I could have got a ticket, but couldn't get it off, unfortunately. But yeah, I haven't got a ticket for Chelsea.
You need to sort that out, mate, because that will be. If Pedro's going to be playing like how he could be against us, I'm a bit worried. I'll be honest.
PTSD after last season. I don't want to go. Don't want to go again.
Last season was certainly interesting, and the season before, I remember they really celebrated that when they beat us. But yeah, last season was yikes. I think that was the first time we thought, my God, we've really just been torn apart for last season. But we need to be more positive. I think we've got a good start to the season in terms of how we've started to turn around. And I think it could be an interesting game. I think of all games, we said it about Fulham, and Fulham was the one game that it was like, you don't want to go punching below your weight early on, because if you're playing against, say for example, Burnley, or say for example Leeds, you're going to think, we've got to win that, newly promoted side. And if we don't win that, it's going to be classic Brighton. That's the sort of excuse, right? And then if you're playing against the top side, like City, I can almost guarantee we go and win that game.
Yeah.
Right, we'll play against Man United, we'll play against Chelsea or whatever, we'll turn up, Tottenham. But when we play against someone like a Villa or like a Forest or like a West Ham, well, I say West Ham, they're a bit lower down now, Everton, Bournemouth, mid-table sides that are going to be very good against us, because it always happens.
Yeah, it always happens.
You'd think, right, we need to be on our best game to beat this team, and if we don't win this, it's not one that the Amex crowd's going to be right up for when you go, play Fulham at home. So if you don't win this, it's like, these are the games you want to be winning. The mid-table, middle of the pack, be the best of the rest.
Yeah, we so you don't want to underestimate anyone, especially this season. The promoted teams have made some good signings, I think.
Sunderland especially.
Yeah, Burnley not so much, but Sunderland and Leeds I think have done some good business.
Stack looks a pretty good player.
But, it is classic Brighton, losing to a team that's got 3 or 4 points, and then the way you saw it last season, Southampton, we nearly lost at home. We were absolutely terrible. But then we can go beat City. We need to get out of the mindset of that, I think, as you say. We really need to get out of it. But the players, I feel like, are in that mindset at this point, because it's not like it's just been the Premier League era. It's been ever since we're in the Championship.
Do you know the team that haunts me, no matter what? Like when I think of the Championship era of these sort of games, it's always Preston.
Oh, God, yeah.
I always think of going to Deepdale and we'll lose, no matter what. I just remember that specifically. I can't remember if we ever won there.
What was it when were we unbeaten up until then, like the whole season, and then
that was the promotion year.
Yeah, and then we lost like 2-1 or 2-0. Yeah, and then but we also lost to them. I think the season before that. Yeah, we lost in the last minute against them at home.
They always did us. I don't know what it was about playing Preston, especially at their place or at our place. We just always struggled against them. I think of that sort of mentality when you play this middle of the pack team. I think, and as you say, as you're right, it is a mentality problem. You'd probably say if it's happened so often, it's probably something that stems deeper rooted, and I guess that's part of how you turn that around. I guess it'd be a really good statement of intent from us, I think, if we go there and just beat them 2 or 3-0 like we did last season, really. But I think they'll be all right.
We've got Spurs next week, so it's going to be.
That's a game you think we'll win.
Yeah, but you can never tell. That's the one thing. That's the one thing about Spurs is, are they going to be Spursy or not? Yeah. This is the issue. Last season,
sometimes half, they can be brilliant.
Well, last season, first half they were good, and then they were Spurs again in the second half. So, you can never really tell. And again, we said it. Maybe you need to get out of the mentality of it and just go and have a bit of confidence for once. And I said that I'm quietly confident for this Bournemouth game, and I am. Like, we're teetering on the edge of confident, but if we can go there and do what we did last season, I'm very, very confident for next week.
We've got the attackers for it. This is what I always think. It's not like you can blame the attackers we've got. Because I remember when we used to play under Potter, and I'd always blame our attackers for not scoring the chances we had. Like, particularly Mopé, the amount of chances he missed. I used to love him, but the amount of chances was actually insane. Yeah. Trossard was horrendous, and so was Aaron Connolly during that period of time. So we'd have so many big chances to miss all of them. So we'd say, could you imagine if Brighton actually had good attackers? Graham Potter would be the best manager in the league, remember? And then we're now in a scenario where we've probably got our best attack we've ever had. Genuinely. I think in terms of the actual personnel behind the attack we've got, Mitoma, Minte, Jorginho, Danny Welbeck, last season was Pedro. I think of the actual personnel of the players we've got, Stefan Simas, another one, I think that these players could be some of the best attackers we've actually got. So the probably bigger inconsistency is creating the big chances, controlling the game, having that mentality to remain consistent, and I think if we can do that, that's what we really, I think is probably the biggest need this season, is to find that consistency and to be able to have that element of maturity perhaps on the pitch and off it.
We are a different team to when we were under Potter. Under Potter, we just create chance after chance after chance. We can never score. You mentioned Trossard, which a lot of people said I look like. Not so much anymore with a beard, but when
more like Adam Webster to me.
I still don't think Adam Webster. But without the beard, honestly, I look like Trossard. But the problem is with him, he was very, very good on his day, but his day was the 29th of February. Yeah, that was the issue. But now we don't create as many chances, but we also don't take the chances that we do make. Yeah. So yeah, as I say, it's a different team, a different time. Need to get out the mentality that we were in, and we need to start just firing on all cylinders again, like we were under De Zerbi. We have the attackers for it. Again, it's a different team. That's just how it is. It's a different team, and we need to just gain that confidence back and just start just banging them in. And the attackers we have, it's not like they can't do it. And we saw it last season. Well, at times last season, not against Forest, they had some good attackers last season. But yeah,
team.
I never want to go to Forest ever again. I didn't go to the 7-0, but I refused.
I went to the 7-0.
I refused to go because the last time I went, we lost 3-0 and it was in the Championship.
Yeah.
And that's my PTSD.
That's
my
PTSD
PTSD
game exactly
game.
you're talking about. Was that when Stockdale made an absolute howler? Am I thinking of the same game?
I'm pretty sure, and I think someone gave away a penalty.
Yeah. I remember it.
It wasn't great, but just a change of mentality and a win on the weekend would go a long way to doing that, I think.
Agree. And I want to see some build-up as well. I miss our build-up play. That's one thing I do miss.
We scored from a counter-attack the other day. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Every single time we counter, I'm always like, oh, God, this is going nowhere.
We've got the pace for it, though.
I know.
You know what I mean?
That's the problem. We've got the pace for it. We've got the players. We've got the attackers. We never seem to do anything with it.
We need to unlock our prime Nuno ball, since he's the one that's talked about at the minute. If we can get that counter-attacking football, do you remember him at Wolves and Forest? My God, he just tore apart teams on counter-attacks. That's the sort of thing we actually could do, to be fair, with the squad we've got. That whole Forest thing's mental. But I think that's what it is. It's consistency. It's that style, isn't it? It's that identity. That's what you want. You want to know Brighton are going to play in this way and this is how we're going to do it. I think, that all comes down to performances on the pitch. But let's say for second half last week, the week before, was encouraging. I think the change in the substitutions was pretty much perfect, you'd say. And the players that we can bring off the bench are magnificently, very good.
Yeah.
But I think I do feel like we're missing that. We're going to go to Bournemouth and this is how we're going to do it. But there's always a chance. Always a chance.
Last season was our transitional season.
Yeah.
Is what everyone's saying. I know we would have got Europe if some people hadn't have won the FA Cup.
Yeah.
I'm not saying their name.
Yeah.
But this season I can't see us. We don't look the same as last season, I think, and we just need to get into how we want to play again. We need to do it quick, and you could obviously see that's how we want to play against City in that second half. And if we can do that on Saturday, we'll be all right.
I agree. Final thing, predictions. What do you reckon? I hate doing this question. Hate it so much.
2-0.
2-0 win.
2-0. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Just because of their defence, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope you're right. I do hope you're right. I have a bit of a worry over them. I do. I don't know what it is. It's not just now. It's Bournemouth away. I've always sort of thought it was the same way as you. You just sort of ride that game off. I remember Houghton, we just struggled against them all the time.
5-0.
Yeah, the 5-0. Yeah, my God. Now knockout getting sent off. I'm going to say a 1-1 draw.
I'll be happy with that, to be honest.
I don't want to be negative, but I just think they will be quite good. But I think we have the potential to be quite good.
Yeah.
But I think we probably even each other out maybe on the base level. But a win would be brilliant. It would make the long sort of M27 drive where it's just a straight line for 2 hours a little bit easier, that's for sure. The South Coast derby, by the way, that's 80 miles apart from each other.
Yeah, but it's weird that our biggest rivals are Palace, who are actually, maybe apart from Crawley, the closest team to us.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. Look it up.
Yeah, geography-wise, we have no rivals, and I think Bournemouth had a little bit of a thing for us, didn't they? At one point,
because they got no one else.
Yeah, they've got no one else to like. They try and have a go at Southampton. Southampton don't care about them. So they have a go at Portsmouth. Portsmouth care about Southampton, and then they try and have a go at us. We couldn't care less because they're about 2 hours away from us. So we're all looking over the other way to Palace. Now our fans pretty much hate Chelsea more than they hate Palace at this stage.
God, I absolutely hate Chelsea.
Yeah.
I mean, I really hate Palace, and I hate Palace more than I hate Chelsea,
Yeah.
but I really hate Chelsea.
That's fair enough. And I think that Bournemouth don't even come into my mind as to a club that we could hate.
Yeah, I'd never sit there and say, I wouldn't sit there and say Palace are really good team. They're a better team than they were, right? But I wouldn't sit there and like praise them because I hate them. I wouldn't sit there and praise Chelsea because I hate them. Maybe it is just just blind hate, but let me have it. I don't have anything else at the moment. Let me have it.
Yeah, the
but
blind hate.
Bournemouth, I don't care.
Yeah, blind hate for Palace is completely valid. The only ones I can't hate on is Gahey and Glasner. I actually just do think they're good.
Oh yeah, Glasner's a really good manager, and I think Gahey's really, really good. And I mentioned it last week about Gahey and how I think them not selling him might bite them in the arse. But I've got my opinion, and I'm allowed my opinion. So if that comes out to be wrong, then don't have a go at me. But that is my opinion. So
I think Bournemouth will be an interesting game. It will be an interesting game. But yeah, I'm going to go 1-0. You're going to go 2-1. Yeah, 2-0.
2-0.
2-0. Interesting. Right, give us your comments. I want to know score predictions. Hopefully I'll see you at the Vitality in the 1,000 capacity or whatever it is. You can actually count the amount of seats that there are around. I'm just joking. Anyway, we'll see you there, and thank you for watching. Luke, thank you for being on here, and goodbye. Thank you.